Hello, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for watching. This is the American Doofus Show. Of course, don't be a doofus. And this kind of came together at the last minute. We're going to have a panel, hopefully. My man True from Indianapolis joins us, and we can talk. But if not, it's going to be me and Angry Knuckles. Knuckles, how are you, man?
I'm doing okay. How about you, Doofus?
Oh man, getting by. It's a different holiday season. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely. This
Yeah,
whole year is different.
yeah. And I woke up Christmas morning with an explosion in Nashville. Not what I anticipated at all. And you want to talk a little bit about that? What do you know about that? What are you hearing on your side of the fence, so to speak?
Well, pretty much. I heard about it as well. Wasn't something I was anticipating. From the people that I have listened to, um, you know, uh, pretty much from what I understand, even on the conservative side, the people who are more of supporters of Trump and lean that way, um, clearly look at it as an act of terror, regardless of, uh, you know, you just don't do that. And that's on America's soil. Um, also, uh, you know, not to get too much into conspiracy theories, but, you got to try to think of why this person did it. What caused him to do it. And everything's leading back to the AT&T building. Um, there's a lot of things to look at. I've listened to people who were in the military. Um, they went ahead and explained how the bomb was made to, when it exploded, to explode up and out. That's why there wasn't a huge crater. Um, it's weird. It's weird how the only significant building there is the AT&T building. I'm not 100% sure about it. Something to do with, I don't know if they have done it yet or they were about to do it, but AT&T with doing some type of, uh, you know,
Audit on the election.
audit with Dominion and all that other kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I don't know. I know he wasn't out to hurt many people, because any other day of the year, there's a building adjacent from that, from what I understand, that, any other day would have had like 800 people in it. So I personally think it had to have been something with a building around there that he was trying to destroy. Whether it was the AT&T building, I don't know for sure, but it doesn't make sense to just park an RV there and take yourself out with the RV and do as much damage as possible. It just doesn't add up.
Okay, so there might be some kind of connection there ideologically because of the AT&T building and the possibility AT&T is auditing or has audited election machines owned by Dominion, which is one of the, I think, isn't that one of the companies that's suing Giuliani for fraud because of them saying, or because him saying that their machines messed up or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's a totally different thing.
Well, answer on that, I don't know if they're suing Giuliani, but I do know that, there's a lot of talks and, people speak of, and I'm sure you know this, you seem like you're this, that you might be this type of person that when you want to know somebody or something, sorry, you go ahead and you start to look up stuff. And if you're really interested in it, you end up bringing yourself down a rabbit hole. You could be in researching something for anywhere from hours to a couple of days, and the amount of information you'll find is outrageous.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's been a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna go deep into it because, like you said, it's a different topic. But there are videos out there that I have seen where they clearly break it down. It's not just somebody sitting in front of the screen telling you, well, this, and this. They actually bring up documents. They actually show you how they connect this to this and how this links to this. They show you how they find that information.
All right.
So, you look into it deep enough, you can find what you want to find and believe what you want to believe, I guess,
Well, you mentioned conspiracy theories, and one of the craziest ones I heard was that it was a Chinese missile attack that actually happened on Christmas morning, and it was because of the same thing of destroying evidence of voter machine counting fraud or some such thing. And one of the things that they said proved it was there was no crater. It said if it had been a vehicle blown up, there'd have been a crater. So you coming on and saying, you're hearing that the reason there was no crater was because the guy had researched and really knew what he was doing to blow the vehicle up. It's not because there was a Chinese missile attack. So that was one of the most outlandish things I had heard. But everything you got a strong point in the fact that everything seems to be tying back to the AT&T building because he did not want to kill a bunch of people. Otherwise, he wouldn't have played that lady's voice warning everybody. And he would have parked the vehicle in a location that would have done the most damage to human life. He parked it in front of the AT&T building. It's either he was trying to disrupt communications or something else was going on, like you said.
Yeah. I'm still kind of baffled about that missile thing you're talking about. That's crazy, man. But go on with what you were saying. It's regardless of what it's for, it all comes down to, the way I look at it is we had a terror attack on U.S. soil on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you look at it, and like you said, it does seem like it's coming back to that AT&T building. I don't know. I have tried to piece together myself, but there's no other. Obviously, there's other buildings, but nothing of significance.
And then, we followed that up with in Lebanon, Tennessee, a guy driving a box truck playing a similar message.
Yeah. I don't know if it's some kind of copycat type stuff. I don't know if it's, is somebody out there doing a test run for something? It doesn't make sense. I haven't heard anything about a connection between the two, but I just, it doesn't make sense, Day two later.
Yeah.
Guy, kind of the same thing. I don't know what to say about it, to be honest. It's baffling.
All right. Well, I know our time's going to be limited here. So you had some things you wanted to bring up, some things you wanted to address before I ask about, coming up January 6th and, what do you think is going to be happening here in the future? Let's make sure and get out what you wanted to get out.
Yeah. So, for instance, like last night, we know how there's a homeless group or whatnot occupying a I don't know if you want to consider a motel or a hotel out in Washington. And you're absolutely correct. It is a homeless group. They checked in on Christmas Eve morning or Christmas Eve, whatever. Paid for a night all under one name. From what I understand, there's 40 something people and there's 18 rooms. Now I had messaged you, and it could have been, like I said, I'm very transparent. I'm very open and upfront. In the video I watched last night after you made it, we continued to say that it was not Antifa. And you're right. The people that were there might have not been Antifa, but there are videos circulating that where people were down there live. And we do know that from past, from past instances, like you said, you likened the RV that it would probably be an older white gentleman. Well, who usually walks around with a camera dressed in all black wearing helmets? Antifa. I mean, I don't really see many other people doing that. And you actually had, I could get the name of the streamer if you want, and I'll message it to you and you can do what you want with it. But, I was watching the stream and, they were talking about how it was confirmed that they did see Antifa members down there. You could see people walking in and out dressed in all black in the hotel rooms. Not saying that they were staying there, but it seemed like they were visiting the homeless people that were occupying the hotel.
Checking
and that's why
sure
there was some type of connection there, whether they're staying there, whether they're influencing them, whether they're helping them, whether they're doing whatever. There's some type of involvement with Antifa. And it was clearly in these streamers that I'm talking about, they're people who have had countless run-ins with Antifa this whole summer and everything. So they know, when they see somebody, they know if they're Antifa or not. And that's why I brought that out. And I just wanted to kind of, get a mutual understanding on that, I guess.
Let's talk a little bit about that. What from what I've seen, Antifa seem to self-identify by wearing all black, including, like you said, a helmet of some sort and generally face coverings of some sort. What do you have any kind of different, any other connotation as to how do you identify who Antifa is? I guess is the simplest way of putting it. How do you personally go, okay, that's Antifa?
Well, without talking to them, if I was to walk down the street and I was to see somebody, the way I would put out if they were Antifa or not is kind of like what you put on, face mask coverings, all black. A lot of their streamers wear helmets. But if you get closer to one, let me tell you something. If you ever get to talk to one, you'll be able to tell if they're Antifa or not. I don't know if you've ever spoken to somebody that is a member of Antifa.
No, I haven't. I haven't been able to get anybody on. I haven't been able to get a Proud Boy member or Antifa or, but anyway, go.
Let me
talk to us about it. Tell the viewers what your experience is.
I personally have never. So I live. I don't live in the western part of the country. I live in the eastern part, and is there Antifa around where we live? Absolutely. I feel I've seen some, um, but I could tell you as an experience that when you talk to one, they're very disrespectful. If you do not believe what they believe, instantly you're a fascist. You're a no good person. You're a racist, and it could be someone even like yourself. If you don't believe everything that they believe, that's it. I have seen them go on Angry Viking show, and Angry Viking tried to have a conversation like me and you,
Yeah.
um, and they couldn't last 30 seconds. They got on, and Viking said, "Listen, I'm just gonna let you know there's not gonna be no racism." And he didn't even get to tell them, like, no racism, no, pretty much his show. And they're screaming at him, calling him a fascist, a racist. He's this, he's that. They're swearing at him. They're using profanity. I mean,
Wow.
it's nuts. It's nuts. They cannot sit there and have a normal conversation. Um, but yes, when you look into the videos, I identify if I see somebody walking around in all black, um, with a helmet, face covering, and I don't know, I guess some skinny jeans on, wearing some tights or something, I'm gonna look at them as Antifa. Um, that's normally normal people that walk around don't dress like that.
Okay. And my next question was, where do you think Antifa are? Are Antifa just on the West Coast? Are Antifa all across the United States? Are they just in the major cities? Um, any impression?
So I can tell you that Antifa are usually in the cities. Um, I can tell you for certain that I watched. I used to see, not follow, but I used to see a streamer. He was actually an auditor. He used to go do like First Amendment audits and try to get, you know, I didn't understand it at first, but as I kind of watched, to me, he was an instigator. He would instigate police, and he would, you know, try to get them in a predicament where he'd try to piss them off, and then, do a First Amendment audit. If you look it up, you'll understand what I'm saying. It's hard to explain, but
Yeah,
you know,
I think I've got to. Yeah.
yeah. So but the guy that I'm talking about, he's gone out in Boston. He had gone to some uh, whatever protests, marches, whatever. And matter of fact, um, back when I believe it was George Floyd happened, and all the cities erupted into chaos. I actually seen one of his videos out of Boston, and he spoke. He were pointing a few people out, talking about how they were Antifa because he's had run-ins with them.
Okay.
So to kind of answer your question, they're definitely in the bigger cities, major cities, and from what I can gather, they're definitely all around the United States. Because Antifa is, and to me, I'm gonna. A lot of people say, well, Antifa is not a group; it's a ideology or whatever. Um, Antifa is a group, man. If I was to get together with a bunch of people and be that organized, we're a group. They can meet up. They could be hundreds of them that don't even know each other and meet up in a half hour somewhere.
Yeah, I've always questioned that. How do they know when to meet and where to meet if there's no leadership, if there's no organization? It's an easy and it's a smart tactic to present yourself as that, because that way you don't have any target as far as a leader, but somebody's making the calls.
Oh, it has to be. You gonna tell me it's just a bunch of people running around believing the same thing, being exactly on the same page, and being able to do coordinated. I'm gonna call them attacks, because if you run around and burn down a business, or whatever you're doing out in the streets, like we have seen in Portland, um, that's attacks. That's attacks. And there's somebody that is, like you said, coordinating it. We have seen multiple times where there's been piles of bricks and piles of different objects. We've seen, for instance, if there's no leaders, look, you seen the video out of Louisville when the back of that U-Haul or whatever was opened up, and they're just taking out shields and they're taking out signs, and you're telling me that they're just a bunch of people who believe the same thing and they're able to coordinate that so perfectly? They had that all set up. That stuff was all ready to go. It was packed in there for at least a day or two and just parked somewhere ready to go. It was quick. It was too quick to be able to just say, well, it just came together.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive when I was watching the live stream. I remember what you're talking about now. It was pretty impressive how fast everything happened, because it was just like as people walked up, they knew that truck was going to open up and something's going to happen, and it was expedient. They did it quickly, got their stuff, kept on going. The truck moved on, and it was impressive, honestly.
It,
I
it,
mean, as far as an organizational standpoint.
yeah, yeah. Um, you know, it's just there's and it sucks because you don't know who really the leaders are, so you can't. It's not like a gang where you can say, well, let's take, you cut
Yeah,
the serpent's head off
yeah.
and it will die out, because you don't know who's leading it, but somebody's leading it. We don't know who.
Okay, let's switch over to the total polar opposite now. The Proud Boys. What do you know about the Proud Boys? Do you consider yourself a member of the Proud Boys? If I
I
can
am
ask
not
that.
from the Proud Boys. No, I am not.
Okay.
Um, I think anybody who just comes out and says that they're a Proud Boy without uh, meeting up with the Proud Boys and without, um, officially becoming a member of the Proud Boys. From my understanding, you're not really a Proud Boy. I don't know. Let me just tell you this. I don't know a ton about the Proud Boys,
Okay.
but I can tell you this. Um, from everything that I've seen, if I was next to a Proud Boy, I'd back them up 1,000%. I would jump in front of a bullet for one of them. I look at them as if they are my brothers and sisters.
Okay.
Now, um, you know, they're not, and that's the thing, is I hear a lot of this stuff saying that they're racists. And actually, it really upsets me. It upsets me because, as I've spoken before, not every Trump supporter, not every conservative, not everybody like that is a racist. And the leader of the Proud Boys, um, he's not white. He'd be racist against himself if they were racist. He's not white. I don't remember exactly what race he is.
He's a Cuban man named Enrique Tarrio, Tarrio.
Yes. And they have black members, so they're definitely not racist. And and from what I understand, and I could be wrong, and for if there is any Proud Boys out there watching, please forgive me if I get this wrong, but from what I understand, they started out as like a fraternity group, just a bunch of guys that used to go out and drink and have some fun and fuck around, per se, excuse my language. But because of the state of the nation, because of what is going on, they felt they had to stand up and help defend their country. And
so do you consider them more a pro, are they a pro-Trump organization rather than a racist organization?
I do think that they're pro-Trump. They're in no way, shape, or form, I could guarantee you, and I'd be willing to put my life on the line to say that they're not racist. I'd go that far.
All right. I did a report that a guy, Kyle Chapman, who's the founder of the Tactical Defense Arm for the Proud Boys, he attempted to stage a coup against the current leader, and he wanted to rebrand the group as a white. He said rebrand the organization as explicitly white supremacist and anti-Semitic. So what you're saying is, just like with any other organization, there are some that are going to be racist, and there's some that oppose the fact that others are racist, and there might even be a split among the Proud Boys that even as along those lines.
Well, I'm going to say this, this might not be a good analogy, but the Bible says that the devil himself casts himself as an angel of light, doesn't it? Something to that effect. So it's just like anybody out there. Anybody can go out there and profess to be one thing or another. Anybody could go out there and say, well, could there have been infiltrators? There's infiltrators as well. I don't know about this personally. I don't know about what you're speaking about. I am going to reach out to somebody who knows a lot more about the Proud Boys and knows Proud Boys personally. And I'm going to reach out to him and kind of talk to him a little bit to get a better understanding, because I want to understand what you're talking about, this staging.
And let me know what you find out. I'll be happy to share it.
I and maybe if I can try to even get this person to talk to you,
get him to come on the show.
I think it would be good, for people to know that, like I said, when it comes to the Proud Boys, I'd be willing to put my life on the line saying that they're not a racial group.
Okay.
And that's big, when somebody's willing to put their life on the line. That, and the Proud Boys, I personally feel that they have come to be what they are now due to Antifa and what they did to Portland. I believe they pushed people like the Proud Boys and other, right side groups per se, or pro-Trump groups and stuff like that, to stand up and do something, because it's unfortunate, but if the police are not going to either do something about what's happening, or if they can't control what's happening, you have to have somebody that has to stand up and help save the country. This is America, man. and we don't. I'm sure none of us, as screwy as this may seem, and I'm sure none of us want our country to be flushed down the toilet per se.
No.
But if what is happening right now continues to happen, we are on a dark course. We are on something that I personally feel people are gonna not wake up until the bullets start to fly per se. Until they see a family member die next to them that they never thought they would see. And then they're gonna say to each other, what just happened? You know? And it should not get to that point.
Yeah.
This is
So do you
bad.
think, so do you think, I mean, you're saying that the let's just say the right, okay? All right. The right was forced to rise up because of Antifa, correct?
I would say a lot of the right was forced to rise up due to Antifa and um, BLM and other people in the streets destroying cities and doing the things that they were doing. Yes.
Okay. Now, is that who you say you want to save our country? Is that who the right wants to save our country from Antifa? From or from who?
I would say Antifa is not doing anything good for our country right now. When you go out and you burn down your own community, when you go out and do the things that you do, that's not doing good. That is, you're hurting your community. How do you expect your community to thrive? How do you expect, um, you know how long it takes for those businesses to rebuild um, and that's what America is. You know, I feel, you know, America is built on these small businesses. That's the backbone of this country. It's not all about high, big tech corporate. And I might not be explaining it right. I don't always
I know
explain
what you're saying.
right.
I know what you're saying. You're saying the smaller business people, and there are millions and millions and millions of those small businesses around the country compared to a handful of mega businesses, if you will. And
Yeah.
and those small businesses can't survive. Some of them can't survive um, a devastating act. I know what you're saying. Hey,
All because they have insurance doesn't mean that their insurance is going to pick up the full
right,
cost if somebody goes in there and trashes the place and burns it down.
right,
It,
right,
it, you
right.
just took their life away from them. That's how they live. That's how they feed their family.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you on that. There's nothing right or righteous about that happening to a small business. We're getting short on time. And there is one thing I wanted to talk with you about. Do you know anything about what happens January 6th? January 6th, that's when the vote's going to be in the Capitol building. And I'll just go ahead and announce it right here with you, man. I haven't said this to anybody. My prediction is by January 6th, the United States Capitol building will be surrounded. It'll be either surrounded by people calling themselves patriots, or it'll be surrounded by the United States military as they actually count the ballots to determine the president of the United States once, finally, and for all. Do you know anything about any of that?
Let me just say, I don't know 100% certain about anything to that, but I do know this. I do know that the president called on um, all the patriots per se to be in Washington come the 6th.
Coincidence, huh?
And I know that, I know tons and tons and tons are showing up. Um, Personally, me, um, I'm gonna try to get there. If I take care of my elderly grandparents. So if I can um, get out for a few days, I'm gonna be there.
Well, dude, if you are there, feel free to be a live reporter, man. You know, if anything goes down and you're there, flip your phone on and let me know about it, and we'll get you out across the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to bring something out about the sixth
Yeah, yeah,
because,
please.
and this is coming from me on a personal level.
Yeah,
I might not. I don't agree with what I guess I would say the left is doing. I don't agree with what BLM is doing, what Antifa is doing. Um, and when I say BLM, let me make this clear. Um, I'm talking about the organization. I'm not talking about black people in general.
okay.
I have family that are black. I have friends that are black. I have a couple close enough friends that I would take a bullet for that are black. Now, uh, in no way, shape, or form, I have no racism in my body. So when I talk about BLM, I just want to make it clear that I'm talking about the organization.
Right.
Everybody, I mean, it's common sense. Black lives matter.
Yeah,
Now, on the 6th, because we have seen, and we still don't know exactly why or what was going on Christmas morning with the RV blowing up.
right.
You don't know what was going on a day or two later when the copycat got pulled over. There are some sick people out there, and I'm sure this goes for both sides, both left and right. We've seen what happened with the Boston bombing. It doesn't take a lot to go ahead and end lives. All I ask for, and I understand that we all have differences, but at the end of the day, we are all people. We all bleed red. We all breathe the same air. If you see anything out of the ordinary in DC on the 6th, speak up, say something, do something. If you see a bag just laying there, if you see a suspicious vehicle just sitting there, anything you might see out of the ordinary, please make sure you take precaution, not only for yourself, but the others around you. Even if you guys are arguing with the other side, at the end of the day, we are all people. Look out for one another.
All right.
Like I
All right. All right.
So
We'll end it with that. And man, thank you for coming on. And again, something happened. True was supposed to join us. We were going to have a brief panel, and it's always, I think it's important that people from opposite sides talk. And I always appreciate you being able to come on here and talk with us a little bit. And I look forward to the next time. And if it's not before the 6th, we will stay in touch, and we'll figure out how to get you on here live on the 6th, one way or the other. All right, man.
absolutely. And I enjoy coming on and talking with you, and for anybody who wants to ever sit down and have a chat with me, either on their channel. I don't have a big channel, but I would like to eventually grow We can, anybody who would like to sit down and talk, we could either do it on your channel, Doofus. We could do it on, if someone reaches out to you.
I know True. I know True wanted to talk to you, and True is True doesn't vote. He's not political. I think he might even supported Trump. I'm not 100% certain. I really don't know. We don't talk about that stuff, but he wanted to have a conversation with you. And a couple other people did too. So we'll set something up, and maybe do it after the first of the year and before the 6th. All right.
I'm down. You let me know when, and I'll be down.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next time. Take care of yourself.
Take care.
All the best to your family.
You too.
It is the American Doofus Show. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't be a doofus. Take care of yourselves and each other. It is, it's a dark world, and the potential for more darkness is always there. And I'm just going to say until next time, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And thanks again to Angry Knuckles for coming on. And Angry Viking, if you happen to see this, brother, come on and talk with me, and I'll come on your show and talk with you. I think it would possibly do some good for people to see us talking with each other. And of course, always the same thing with Grandmaster Jay. I love y'all. Nothing but the absolute best. And I will see you tomorrow on the final day of 2020 for another episode of the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Love you all.